So every year when we release FIFA, we want to see what people think. We look at the forums, we look at social media sites, blogs, try to get as much feedback as we can, see what people like, what people don't like, what are the suggestions that people can give us for the next FIFA. And that's really important for us to get the feedback from the community. We also have a huge list of ideas that we have ourselves. We're passionate football fans. We have so many ideas that we want to get into the game. I think the most challenging thing is figuring out a way to, in 1 year, to change the game enough to really make some improvements that people will feel like, it's worth to get the new one. And that's what I think we've done with FIFA 14, because we've completely changed the locomotion system. It's something that we spent 2 years doing, and it changes the game completely, how the players move with the new precision movement feature. So especially for this year, I'm really proud of what we've been able to do and how the game is much more realistic. It feels more football, and it feels very different to last year. So I was an animator on FIFA for 5 years, and I worked on the shooting animations, and I can tell you there's hundreds of shooting animations. This year we've added so many new animations for passing, for shooting especially. And the cool thing is that it's not just like animations for the sake of adding a new one. It's animations because it's context specific. It means that there's an animation when the ball is passed behind you or sort of underneath you, and it looks like it's a rush shot. It's like uncomfortable. There's an animation when the ball is coming over your shoulder and you have to hit it with your opposite foot. All of these animations, we call them context specific because they're captured, they're created for specific football situations, that could happen at any time during the match, and they look different than other ones. Yeah, so we're calling it precision movement, and this is the ability for you to really be in control of your players. The technology that we built is called step-based locomotion. It allows us to build animations step by step. So every step that you take, you can change your mind so it feels responsive, but also it allows us to have very authentic looking visuals. So when a player is jockeying versus sprinting versus turning, it all looks very, very realistic now. If you look closely at last year's game from far away, maybe it looks okay, but when you look closely, the players are floating, they're sliding, sometimes it feels like they're on ice. So this is one of the biggest pieces of feedback the community told us. We want more solid players who feel grounded and who feel athletic. This is what the new locomotion gives us. And like I said, it's 2 years in the making, spent a lot of time. It's a completely new system, a new technology that we're using in FIFA, and it feels so much better now. There has been a lot of talk on the forums about getting women's leagues, getting women players, getting be a referee mode. All of these things are ideas that the community have told us about, and for us it's part of the feedback that we receive from the community and trying to prioritize what is the most important for the fans. So even though those are some great ideas, there are other things that are actually more important. When we collect all the feedback, on the top of the list are mainly things like the AI. How can we improve the defensive AI? That's one thing we improved this year, because last year the feedback was that it wasn't intelligent enough. So we spent a lot of time this year improving the marking and the way the players defend and run and track the runs. So it's one of those things where we get a lot of feedback, and we have to sort of prioritize what is the most important. Like what are most people really actually asking for? And while people ask for be a ref and women's league, it's still not at the top of the list because there's not so many people actually asking for it. But hopefully one day. Yeah, so the main improvements for defense this year is the feature we're calling teammate intelligence. So it's your defensive AI teammates that are now tracking the forwards better. They're staying with their marks. They're passing on their marks to their teammates more intelligently. Last year there were many problems where because of the improved attacking intelligence, the players would make these very good runs, but the defenders wouldn't track those runs as well as they should. So that's one thing we really concentrated on this year to improve the logic for our AI. Another thing is the second chance tackles feature that we spoke about earlier, which allows you to make a tackle, and if you miss, you can press the tackle button again and try another one. This is an idea that came to us by looking at real football reference, where we saw the best defenders, and they would put in a tackle, and if they missed, they would put in another one, and then another one, and then another one. Like, they would keep going until they got the ball. So that's why we created this feature. So branching tackles, second chance tackles.